itong balita na lumabas from the expose column na sinulat po ni dating Ambassador Rigoberto Bobby Tiglao. Si Rigoberto Bobby Tiglao naging ambassador ito ng Pilipinas sa Greece, naging pinuno ng presidential management staff ni Pangulong Gloria Macapagal Arroyo noong panahon nila, at isa itong magaling na manunulat. I think he's writing a column sa Manila Times na ang column niya ay nagtumatalakay sa mga current political issues and social activities and events may kaugnayan sa policies and programs ng gobyerno na nakakaapekto sa taong bayan. Okay. Isa sa column niya nung nakaraang araw ay ang pagbubunyag kung paano na hindi dapat at karapat-dapat na si Sherwin Gatchalian ang mamumuno sa Senado, which is known to be supposedly an institution that should serve as a pillar for democracy and the check and balance in the authority of the government, lalo na sa executive branch. Dahil wala daw moral ascendancy, walang moral authority, at may kinasasangkutan na anomalya na hindi karapat-dapat para maging isang Senate President itong si Sherwin Gatchalian. Ang binabanggit ni Ambassador Bobby Tiglao sa kanyang column, mga kababayan, which you can read sa Manila Times, ay ang maanomalya at pandaraya di umano na pagbebenta ng pamilya nila Gatchalian, involving also si Sherwin Gatchalian at ang kanyang tatay, according to the column presented in the writing of Bobby Tiglao, itong Express Savings Bank Incorporated, ESBI, na kung saan ito ay mainly nakabase sa Laguna area. Noong 2009, 2010, mga ganyang panahon, mga kababayan, hindi pa siguro ito time ni Noynoy Aquino, I think GMA time pa, kung hindi tayo nagkakamali, ay minaniobra nila Gatchalian na ang papalugi na bangko nila na ESBI, Express Savings Bank Incorporated, na nalulugi na ng halos mga 28 million to 38 million pesos. And that was almost 20 years ago, mga kababayan, ay ibinenta sa Local Water Utilities Administration. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, si Butch Pichay ang namumuno ng LOA noon. Ang LOA, ito yung nagsosupervise sa operations ng mga water districts sa buong bansa. Kaya nga, Local Water Utilities Administration. Yan. So, hindi naman po nila linya ang bangko na negosyo. Pero ang nakakadismaya, mga kababayan, ay ang pagmaniobra nila Sherwin Gatchalian ng kanyang pamilya, including ang tatay niya, na ibenta ang papalugi na bangko sa government entity na Local Water Utilities Administration. At hindi lang yun, dahil sa madaya at questionable na transaction deal na yan, ay nagganansya pa sila. Sapagkat ang pumasok na capitalization ng LOA umabot ng 780 million pesos total. Kumita na sila Gatchalian at nakapasok ng bagong kapital sa papalugi na bangko na later on diniklara ito na bankrupt na at under receivership noong 2011, ay nalugi ang gobyerno sa kasalukuyang rate ng mga 1.4 billion pesos. At ang nag-architect, itinuturo sa column ni Bobby Tiglao, si Sherwin Gatchalian. So dapat magpaliwanag dito si Sherwin Gatchalian, no? Hindi kung ano-anong postura na nagmamalinis at akala mo very self-righteous. Ito pala, nalugi ang gobyerno sa current equivalent amount na 1.4 billion pesos. But almost 20 years ago, ang diskarte na yan ng pamilya ni Gatchalian ay nalugi ang gobyerno ng actual 780 million pesos. Plus 500 million sa mga depositors na nag-bank run, kaya nangolekta ng insurance mula sa PDIC. Ang amount is almost 800 million or over 800 million. The most approximate estimate ng amount value na yan sa current status ng ating market and financial exchange rate requirements sa mga bangko, aabot sa 1.4 billion pesos ang lugi at nawala na pera. I think kinasuhan yan sila Pichay, ang grupo ng LOA sa Sandigan Bayan. Pero si Gatchalian at ang kanyang pamilya nakaiskapo. For whatever reason, sila na nakakaalam. Pero maganda rin po at binuksan ito ni Bobby Tiglao. So itong ESBI deal or the Express Savings Bank Incorporated ay parang nagbenta ka ng palugi na negosyo. Like halimbawa, ang negosyo na fishball at okoy-okoy. No? Yung kakanin nila Gatchalian, nalulugi na at hindi na kumikita, inilapit nila sa gobyerno. At dahil may kausap sila sa LOA, sa Local Water Utilities Administration, sinalo. Marami pala silang utang at marami silang mga hindi na liquidate na mga babayaran pa nila sa kanilang mga pananagutan. Kinarga yun sa panibagong nag-assume ng negosyo nila. Ayan, wala pang 2 taon, nalugi at lubusang nagsarado ang ASBI or Express Savings Bank Incorporated na pagmamay-ari ng pamilya Gatchalian at involved din si Sherwin Gatchalian dyan mismo. At ngayon, tahimik lang siya na siya pala ang pinagmulan, kasama siya doon sa bad deal or ill motive. Dapat sinama siya sa kaso. Kasi imposible namang bibilhin yan ng grupo ng mga pamunuan ng Local Water Utilities Administration nang hindi nila nakikilala sila Gatchalian. So mayroon po yan familiarity and connection doon sa mga namumuno ng agency of government. At pangalawa, the intention na palusutin mo ang naluluging bangko na negosyo upang makakuha ka pa ng pera at makaganansya ka at ang resulta, ikalulugi ng gobyerno from 800 million pesos, ngayon equivalent ng lugi na yan, mga 1.4 billion pesos na, mga kababayan, eh di, napakasama mo talaga pala. Wala kang pakialam sa gobyerno dahil ang pakialam mo, tumubo at tumubo ka lang. Di bali na mapapahamak ang mga taxpayers, mapapahamak po ang gobyerno mismo dahil tubig ang negosyo eh. Tubig po ang business and focus dapat ng Local Water Utilities Administration. Bakit nila pinatulan itong papalugi na bangko? At hindi ito nakita kaagad ng Monetary Board dahil mukhang mayroong mga shadowy and sketchy transactions. So I think with the situation right now na kiniklaim ni Sherwin Gatchalian na siya ang Senate President, ang tanong ngayon sa kanya, bakit hindi mo ito pinapaliwanag? Senator Gatchalian, gaano katotoo na nasasangkot ang pamilya mo at ikaw mismo dito sa bad deal or the evil deal na nalugi ang gobyerno during that time, mga mahigit 800 million pesos, ang equivalent ngayon 1.4 billion pesos. So tatlong bagay nakita natin dyan. Number one, there is a historical pattern on the part of Gatchalian na nasasangkot siya sa mga questionably na mga transaksyon na lulusutan niya lang. May mga transaksyon na hindi nabubulgar. Siguro magaling siya mag-manage kung paano timplahin ang public relations, media operations para hindi lumabas at sumambulat ang iskandalo na ito. That's number one. So the pattern of Gatchalian to be involved in the so-called shadowy transactions allegedly, like itong ESBI deal na ikinalugi ng gobyerno at na alam niya na nalulugi na at malulugi pa, ay pinagkakitaan pa nila at the expense of the government, at the expense of the people's money. So that is a moral question. Bagamat hindi siya nakasuhan at nakalusot sila sa legal investigation, it does not follow na wala silang moral obligation o moral na pananagutan. Mayroon. Dahil if you know something will result to negative and bad consequences, bakit may tutulak ang bagay na yan at pakikinabangan mo pa? Diba? Yan po ay masamang ugali. Yan po ay masamang kalooban. So there is a historical pattern of Gatchalian to be involved in this. Number two, ang kanyang pagmamalinis ay nagko-cover up doon sa kanyang mga pananagutan. Halimbawa, anong nangyari sa reclamation contract nila dyan? Amounting to around 4 billion pesos dyan sa may Manila Bay na pinatigil na, and then yung mga involvement ng pamilya nila sa destructive mining doon sa Romblon. Malakihan din po itong mga issue na pilit minamanage nila Gatchalian. Pinapatimpla, pinapakalma nila because they have the resources na gamitin sa public relations and media operations. So, yan ang reclamation alone. At marami pang project. In fact, sa panahon ni Cory Aquino, itong tatay niya, pinapalayas ito sa Pilipinas, itong si William Gatchalian, no? Si Orocan o si Plastic King, dahil sa issue ng citizenship at mga shadowy business during the time of Cory Aquino. At ito, si Gatchalian ngayon, ay lumalabas sa column na sinulat ni Ambasador Bubi Tiglao ay mayroon palang ganong sitwasyon na kinasasangkutan. So, there are moral questions now on the integrity and honesty as a public official ni Sherwin Gatchalian. At ngayon lang ito na ibubunyag. At para sa akin, kailangan po sa mga mamamayan, maimbestigahan ito muli ng ombudsman. Ano naging role ni Sherwin Gatchalian dito, ngayon na senador na siya, dito sa pagsasagawa ng madaya at madugas na bank deal na alam nilang lugi at talo ang gobyerno, pinagkakitaan pa nila. Itong Express Savings Bank Incorporated na nabangkarote. Pabangkarote na, at kaya nga nabangkarote, pinagkakitaan pa sa deal nila Gatchalian sa gobyerno as per information revealed by Ambassador Bubi Tiglao sa kanyang column. Pangatlo, that Sherwin Gatchalian would like to appear clean before the public as malumanay, kalmado, at walang bahid ng katiwalian. Ito, the government lost more than 1 billion in equivalent amount for current market value sa transaksyon na siya ang may isa sa mga arkitekto according to the sources of information na binabanggit ni Bubi Tiglao. Ngayon, bakit walang privilege speech? Bakit walang pagpapaliwanag? Lumabas na ito, no? Kaya tinatalakay ni Ka Eric ito. Ano po ang shadowy deal na ito? At ano po ang pananagutan dito ng pamilya Gatchalian involving mismo si Senator Sherwin Gatchalian sa papalugi at bangkarote na bangko na Express Savings Bank Incorporated, pinagkakitaan pa nila, pinagbentahan nila, at may nangyari, obviously, na conspiracy sa mga opisyal ng Local Water Utilities Administration. Parang dito pinalusot ang pera na nawala, amounting to almost 800 or over 800 million pesos in sometime around 2009, 2010. Ayan. Kaya at least malinaw sa atin na bago ka magaling at magmagandang lalaki, Sherwin Gatchalian, magpaliwanag ka muna sa taong bayan. Ano ang ginawa mo as you are being pointed out right now in a public column written by journalist and Ambassador Bubi Tiglao about how you made a deal that is equivalent to a suicide deal on the part of the government, pero nagoyo at naboyo ninyo. Itong grupo ng Local Water Utilities Administration, I think it was the group of Butch Pichay, dating Congressman Butch Pichay. So sana punta ito. At sino nagpartida ng pagkalugi na ito? At bakit hindi ka at ang pamilya mo na isangkot sa ganong iskandalo ng pagkakaso sa Sandigan Bayan? At ano na ang nangyari sa iba pang issue related po sa inyo, Ginoong Gatchalian? As a Senate President that you claim to be you are, you should come clean before the people. At ito ang malaking iskandalo. What is ESBI? Express Savings Bank Incorporated deal na papalugi at pabangkarote na pinagkakitaan pa ninyo di umano by making it appear na palatable and viable business na tinake over ng LOA, ng mga kulukoy na opisyal ng LOA, at kaya nga ito ay may kaso sa Sandigan Bayan. But right now, hindi sila included, mga kababayan. But on the moral aspect of this controversial na pagkakasangkot ni Sherwin Gatchalian sa issue na ito, ang tanong ng mamamayan, Bakit tahimik si Sherwin Gatchalian? Sa tatlong issue na ito, yung billion pesos, multi-billion contract nila sa reclamation dyan sa may Manila Bay area. Walang balita, pero na-release na daw ang mga pondo dito. At wala tayong update. As a senator, at nagmamalinis siya, obligasyon niya magpaliwanag dyan. Sa mga nangyaring mga operation ng mining companies related to their family sa Romblon. Destructive mining din po ito, na nagbarikada ang mga taong bayan sa Romblon para palayasin ang mga kumpanya sa minahan na associated sa pamilya niya. At third, itong pag-iskandalo ng isang bulok at bangkarote na deal causing the government to lose 1.4 billion pesos in equivalent amount to the current market value ng bangko na palugi at bangkarote na pagmamay-ari nila Sherwin Gatchalian, ang Express Savings Bank Incorporated. Ayan. Mga kababayan, mas lamang ang may alam at mas may alam, may paninindigan ka. Ibig sabihin po, mas nakikita natin ang katuturan ng ating paninindigan kung alam natin ang mga kwento sa balita at may tamang pananaw na nabubuo po tayo. Kaya tayo mayroong balita at talakayan. Maraming salamat sa pagsubaybay at pagsuporta. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to promote and share our videos in campaign for our subscribers and for our viewers. Utang na loob ko po yan sa inyo sa mga pagtulong ninyo. At maraming salamat. Tandaan natin palagi, mahalin natin ang bansang Pilipinas. Walang ibang magmamahal nito, kundi tayo ring mga Pilipino. Para sa Diyos at sa Pilipinas nating mahal. May God bless everyone. May Allah will be with those who are Muslim brothers and sisters. Muli, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat at pagsubaybay ninyo. Bye for now. Ito po si Ka Eric. Mabuhay!
Second headphone.
Good morning, Lieutenant General Peralta. Tama po ba na ang birthday ninyo is May 14, 1970,
Yes, sir.
which was last month?
Yes, sir.
Meaning to say you already reached the age of 56 and you were bypassed upon seeing the adjournment of Congress on June 3. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
As a matter of fact, this circumstance also applies to the rest of your colleagues, namely Vice Admiral Alan M. Javier, whose birthday is May 16, 1970. Major General Isagani Criste, birth date is April 21, 1970. Brigadier General Naisforo Diaz, birth date May 5, 1970. And Brigadier General Rus Mawate Remo, April 24, 1970. Meaning to say, the five of you, General, already reached the age of 56. And everyone was bypassed upon the Senate adjournment of Congress last June 3, 2026. That is a fact, sir. And are you aware of Republic Act 11939?
Yes, sir.
Republic Act 11939 amended Republic Act 11709. You're familiar of that? Do you know why I am citing this particular law, General?
Yes, sir.
Why?
We are less than 1 year, sir.
Yes. You are correct. Section 2 of Republic Act 11709, which is now Section 1 of 11939, last paragraph, says that to be eligible for appointment or promotion to the grade of Brigadier General or Commodore O-07 or higher, except for positions under Sections 2A and 2B, the officer must have at least 1 year remaining of active service before compulsory retirement. And would you say that you lack at least 1 year remaining of active service before your compulsory retirement?
Yes, sir. We were ordered to come here, sir, and we are directed to appear before the commission appointments.
And so therefore, it only means that the five of you may no longer be eligible for reappointment in view of the prohibition under Section 1 of Republic Act 11939. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable President. Honorable Senator Ping Lacson is recognized.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Just for clarity, I believe and I was told by the Secretary of the Commission on Appointments that the ad interim appointments of this fine gentleman and lady is a mere resubmission of their previous ad interim appointments given before the resumption, the May 25, 2026 resumption of the first regular session. And since this is a special session, it is a continuation of the first regular session. Therefore, hindi pa po sila pasok do sa one-year ban. Kasi hindi naman po nila kasalanan na nagkagulo-gulo kami dito sa Senado at hindi na take up yung kanilang confirmation. So with that manifestation, Mr. Chairman, I move that we recommend to the plenary the confirmation of the aforestated or aforementioned gentleman and lady in plenary. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
There's, yes, Honorable Rizon Taveros.
Second the motion, Mr. Chair.
Any objection to the motion duly seconded?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Honorable Albano is recognized.
Mr. Chair, Your Honors, on the part of the minority, we place on record our full support for the confirmation of the 5 generals and flag officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, whose appointments are now under consideration. These officers have rendered long and distinguished service to the nation. As such, the minority supports the favorable confirmation of their appointments and commends their dedication and sacrifices in their service to the Filipino people. Mr. Chair, as the acting minority floor leader on behalf of the minority and the Filipino people, we interpose no objection to their confirmation. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Albano. Honorable Bongo is recognized.
Mr. Chair, esteemed colleagues, allow me to express my full support for this commission. As this commission gives its consent to the well-deserved appointments of the senior officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. These officers have demonstrated professionalism. Opo, sir. Ano lang, support lang po. Manifestation lang po. These officers have demonstrated professionalism, dedication, and unwavering commitment to their duties in safeguarding our nation's sovereignty, protecting our people, and upholding the Constitution. Wala na po akong katanungan sa kanila. And in fact, itong dalawa, no, si Vice Admiral Alan Madrid-Abier, Lieutenant General Edmundo Peralta, are mga tanglaw diwa, class of 92. Their years of service, leadership, and sacrifice
reflect the highest ideals of military service and have earned them the trust and confidence of their fellow servicemen. At naintindihan ko rin po na yung 1 year bar rule, no, na dapat nilang mahabol dahil bawat star na alam po ni Senator Ping Lacson yan noon pa, parati nating pinaglalaban dahil napakahalaga po sa kanila yung 1 star na madagdag sa kanila. Yan po dala-dala na nila hanggang sa kanilang pagtanda. At maraming salamat rin po Senator Ping sa mga suporta mo noon sa sundalo. Mr. Chair, dahil sa kanilang kabayanihan at pagbibigay serbisyo sa ating bansa, gusto ko lang pong bigyang pagkilala at pagpupugay sina Vice Admiral Alan Madrid Javier, Lieutenant General Edmundo Peralta, Philippine Army, Major General Isagani Ocampo Criste, na naging PSG rin po nung panahon ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, Brigadier General Nice Foro, no? Medrana Diaz Jr., Philippine Army, and Brigadier General Rosa Mawate Remo, Women in Uniform. Ma'am, sa panahon ng banta sa seguridad, sakuna at iba't pang hamon sa kapayapaan at kaayusan, sila ay naninindigan at naglingkod ng buong katapatan sa iba't ibang tungkulin at responsibilidad na kanilang ginagampanan. Napatunayan ng mga opisyal nito ang kanilang kakayahang mamuno at maglingkod. Panahon ng pandemya, panahon ng giyera sa Marawi, bagyo, lindol, baha, patuloy kayo nagtatrabaho para sa ating mga kababayan. At maalala ko po, nung panahon ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, pinaglaban natin na madoble po ang sahod ng entry position ng military at lahat po ng uniform personnel. Dahil po yan sa inyong sakripisyo para sa bayan at hindi po natin mararating itong kinaroroonan natin kung hindi po dahil sa inyo. As our first line of defense, your continued courage and commitment are vital to defending our country's honor, rights, and future. We also call on you to remain steadfast in protecting our sovereignty. Maraming salamat po sa inyong dedikasyon, sakripisyo at walang katulad na serbisyo sa ating mga kababayan. Wala po akong katanungan kung hindi nagbibigay lang po ako ng full support dito sa ating hearing sa Commission on Appointments. Dati naman po akong membro dito since 2019 at hindi po matutumbasan ang inyong kontribusyon sa bayan, pero meron lang po akong paalala sa ating Armed Forces of the Philippines. Unahin lagi ang interes ng bayan. Unahin po lagi ang interes ng bawat Pilipino. Mabuhay po kayo. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you,
Mr. Chair.
Senator Bongo. Yes, Honorable Marcoleta.
Mr. Chair, I did not get proper explanation on the concern that I raised before this committee. I don't think we are in a position to violate an existing law. What I heard is an assumption that was passed on to the secretary of this commission. Somebody presumed that the appointment made last year is supposed to be continued. May I ask the secretary to explain that, if that assumption is correct? And if that assumption is enough to override the clear provision of the law?
Honorable Lacson.
Again, I'd like to clarify, hindi po last year. Before May 25, 2026, yung nag-resume tayo ng first regular session. Kasi nag-break tayo. Bago tayo mag-resume, they were given ad interim appointments by the President. So yun po yung ina-apply natin because a special session that we are having today is a continuation of the first regular session, Mr. Chairman. So yung birthday nila fell after. Kailan ang birthday mo, General? May 14. So yung ad interim appointments were given before May 14, I suppose. So you confirm that. So hindi ka covered ng 1-year ban. That's the clarification that I manifested earlier, Mr. Chairman. How about the others? Covered sila ng hindi sila covered ng 1-year ban when they were given their ad interim appointments
Before their
before May 25, di ba? Kasi kung after May 25, resumption, nomination, at saka hindi na kayo mag-apply. But since you were given your ad interim appointments, since Congress was in recess at that time, having resumed on May 25, hindi po kayo mako-cover ng 1-year ban. That's my point. So I hope I satisfy the query posited by the Honorable Marcoleta. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, Mr. Chair, that is an assumption. Somebody should explain from this committee if that assumption is correct. Because the law is the law. They have just reached their age of 56. And they were bypassed. That is a fact. We cannot change that fact, Mr. Chair.